What's up, y'all? Today I wanted to do a sound design tutorial on a lead that I've gotten a lot of use out of lately, and it sounds like this. And obviously it's a Serum patch here, and nice and simple to make, and it works great for things that you want to sound ravier or more electronic, and it also works really well as like a nice width layer that's like really stereo rich and can help thin sounds be thicker, and you know, it's great. It's just a good patch. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. The first thing you're going to want to do here, you can leave the default saw as your wavetable, and then pitch oscillator A and B both up by an octave. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is turn your unison up to 15 on oscillator A and your unison up to 16 on oscillator B, so that that center voice is solo in A and there's two voices in B, which kind of helps with like phasey issues that I've had by turning them both to the same value. Then I have my detuning on the default position for A, blend all the way up, so I've turned that up a little bit, which makes the detuned voices and the side, the voices on the side and that are the pitch has changed more, they're equally loud to the center voice. And I did the same thing with oscillator B, except I just turned the detuning up to 0.5 on this one. Then what makes this really ravey, what gives it that super like washed out sound, is I turned the range up to 3 on both of my A and B oscillator. And all that means is like if it's set to 2, it means the maximum variation that each voice can have is up 1 semitone or down 1 semitone, right? So changing it to 3 would be up 1.5 and down 1.5. And you can even go crazier and get like a hard style-y type lead if you turn it way up. But for this one, I felt like it worked really well, and it's more versatile. Maybe having this set to 3, I think everything sounds like hardstyle if you make it that wide, or like festival trap. So the next thing that I did here was turn my stack up on oscillator B to 12 1x, and you can look at the manual for a more detailed description of what all the different types do. But the 12 1x is super simple. It's just each second voice. So like your first voice is at your center pitch. Your second voice is up 1 octave. First, third voice at center, fourth. So every other voice is pitched up an octave. And then for the stack mode on oscillator B, I changed that to super. And so what that does is oscillator A here, which is set to linear mode, each voice is equally spread apart, right? But on oscillator B that I've changed to super, there's like a bias towards the center. As you can see here, the wider it gets, the further those farthest out voices get from each other. So there's almost like a bias towards being accurate, right? The way it explains it in the manual is like if you had a string ensemble playing, linear means they're all equally out of tune, where super is almost like you have a better, more professional orchestra that's like more in key, right? Then the next thing that I have here is the noise oscillator is set to bright white, pitched up a little bit, and then it's being sent through this high 18 filter with a little bit of fatness on it. And basically what that does is just allows the low end of oscillator A and B to stay nice and loud, but also introduces some noise that doesn't interfere with that nice clean high, mid-high sound from the oscillators, right? That's with them being bypassed. And it gets really tinny and weak if you send them through there, so make sure you're bypassing those two. So then going into the effects here, this is all the processing that goes onto this patch. There's no post-processing. We have a hyper dimension expander where the mix on the hyper module is being gated by envelope 1, and the detuning is up and the rate is all the way up, and the unison voices are turned up to 7, so I think that's the max, yeah. And then while I'm talking about it, I will go ahead and say that I've made the attack a little bit longer on envelope 1, and that is to get rid of that transient little click that happens if you don't, delay that a little bit with some attack, or soften it with the attack right there. Then I have a reverb that the only thing that I think I changed here, the only thing that I changed here was the spin. So I turned turned the spin up to 69 on that one. Very nice. And that just helps the tail warble, but you can experiment with that and get, whatever sound you like out of your reverb. And then on the compressor here, the only thing that I did was bring the threshold up a little bit and turn the release down, because for this patch, I like that nice long tail. And if I don't want the tail on it, I just turn the reverb off, or you can gate the reverb with envelope 1. So yeah, and that's going to do it for this one, y'all. I think I am going to start doing some more sound design tutorials like this where I just go over a patch that I think is particularly useful. So you can not only understand the sound design a little bit more of it, but also like add it to your collection of stuff and build off it and make, you know, new patches out of the ideas. So thanks for watching. I will see y'all in the next one.